Hello and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are in Missouri right now in Cessna, and it's kind of like a requested flight to fly. Well, we'll get up in the air and talk about it. Let's go ahead and release the brake and throttle. Yeah, so we're in Missouri, southeastern Missouri, close to northeast Tennessee. I'm sorry, northwest Tennessee. Full throttle here. Close to northwest Tennessee and Kentucky, right in that corner. And we're off. And let's see, I am flying north, so I am going to make a left bank. No, check that. I'm going to make a right bank. Let's see, no flaps. And we are looking out at the Mississippi River? It's the Mississippi River. Mississippi River in extreme northwest Tennessee, southeast Missouri. We just took off from County Memorial Airport, EIW, Echo India Whiskey. And let's see, this is a large loop. I want to talk about this large loop quite a bit. Now the Missouri River, it does flood. It is a big river. There's a lot of water that comes through this river, and it floods quite often. I'm not going to go too high, but I do want to get up high enough so we can take a look. Now, the reason for the flight is in 1800s, I forget, 1801, 1811, 1821, something like that. There was a large earthquake here in Madrid, which is where I just took off from. New Madrid. Earthquake happened 1801. Wasn't a whole lot of people around. I don't think anybody died. But from northwestern Tennessee all the way to Boston, Massachusetts, or Charleston, South Carolina, it was ringing church bells, this earthquake. And it's because of the rock and things. I love to do the geology part of someplace I fly around. I like to look at it and to think about it. Now, this river, I haven't really actually found out how this happened, but the story is, when the earthquake happened, part of this land lifted up, I forget how many meters, 15 meters, I don't know. The Mississippi had a waterfall on it that was 15 meters high at the time, because all the water that was above the river had to flow back, had to flow down the hill. Does that make sense? Anyway, this right here is neat. One of these days, if this river just cuts through here, this may become an oxbow. This loop right here, this may become an oxbow lake. And it looks like there's some oxbow lakes right here out the window. I'm looking at this little sliver. You know, is that considered an oxbow lake because the river did run over there, and then all of a sudden there's some sediments and you can see, or is that, you know, something else entirely? But I think one day this is going to cut through eventually. These two are going to meet. It's not going to flow north and make this little curve and then come back down. But what I'm getting at, and I didn't know how long it's going to take me to fly over here, but it doesn't look like it's going to... Oh, look, another oxbow right here. That has to be part of the old river. A lot of sediment, a lot of crap coming down the Mississippi River. Anyway, we're looking out. Let me get it across the nose here, right across the nose. I don't know the story on how it happened, but that water that's off of the nose up there, about 4 miles out, isn't supposed to be there. When this earthquake happened, I don't know what direction the water came from Did the river go down that way? And then when the earthquake happened, it just shut all of this water off from the river? Or did the flow back up because of the earthquake and the seismic land lifted up? It's like a slip fault. I think the New Madrid is a slip fault. It got pushed up. It created this lake. It created a lake, and the water can't leave. It can't leave. I don't know. Maybe this part sunk. I don't know. But it was interesting. I can't find really how it happened or see the diagrams on, maybe what I've looked on over YouTube. I just know there's a fault line underneath here, and earthquakes happen here all the time. Look over here. Look at this. I think this is old. Whoops. I think these little striations in the land here, well, they could be from floods or it could be from past river. It's where the river used to run. You can see some oxbow lakes right down there. I don't know. I think this is just mighty Mississippi. But this is what I wanted to come and look at because I couldn't find it on a map. Because it is wetland, so there are trees and it's shallow, but there is a proper lake too. I don't know how deep the lake is. I don't know. We're at 3,000 feet, so we're getting a really good look at this. Caused by an earthquake. Northwest. We're facing south, so we're facing south toward Memphis. Kept going down that way, we'd be in Memphis. That looks like a prison. Does that not look like a prison? Is that a prison? Somebody local? That looks like a prison. They'll come back with, no, this is school. I go to that school. But look at this huge lake. Oh, wait a minute. There is an outlet. There is an outlet. Looks to me like. And see, over here is the river. Did the river used to come down through here, and then when the earthquake happened, it shut this off, and the water had to reroute a different. Look, right here. This right here looks like an old area too. This is amazing to me. I'm not sure what that building is right there. It looks like it's high security fence. I don't know. Is that Fort Knox? Are we anywhere near? Are we anywhere near that? Oh, that would be Tiptonville. This is Tiptonville. Yeah, is that an outlet or is that another lake? An Oxbow Lake that, just happened when the earthquake happened. 200 years ago, or 1800s or whatever it was, 1820s or something like that. 1811. This is amazing. I mean, you wouldn't think of geological, rock slides and things, anything like that, volcanoes or anything here, but I was reading something billion years ago. There was a hot spot here. Now, a billion years ago, North America was down near the equator, way down there, as the plates move across. Wow, wow, wow. And, it's suspected, they think they know what is below here, what's below ground. It is different rock that goes all the way up to Lake Superior or something like that, and on into Canada. So the rock that's underneath here, miles down, is this old, very old rock. And I don't know what the plate that they're considering is subducting right now below New Madrid. If it's the Farallon plate or if it's an old plate from ancient, rock subsiding down into the core of the Earth. It's not creating volcanoes like it does on the west coast out near Washington. But I don't know if it's the Farallon plate that they're considering is finally going down, and we're talking miles and miles and miles underground. But maybe there's a hot spot. You can kind of look at this area from like Google Earth. Oh man, if I was up 30,000 feet, this area right here would look different than, let's say, that area and the area over there in Missouri. It's different. It's like a, what do they call that? Rift Valley in Africa, the Horn of Africa, Somalia over there, that Rift Valley that will eventually break off. This area is very similar to that in that it tried to break off and then couldn't. Yeah, that, I don't know. That's not a dam. I don't think that's a dam. But it looks like any overflow. If this was to fill up, it would go that way. But it can't fill up. There's nothing. What's all the water is over there in the river, in the Mississippi River. There's some lakefront property here that wasn't supposed to be a lake. And there was an explorer. I remember an explorer was riding his horse somewhere in Kentucky. Right over there is Kentucky. And his horse stopped dead in its tracks just before the earthquake happened. This animal knew some shit was going down. And, the rider, of course, the guy didn't know what was wrong with his horse. And then all of a sudden, what do they call it? When the ground just turns to water? That liquefaction. Oh, we got some clouds rolling in. And we can't really go all the way around the lake and see it. Let's, a lot of duck hunting. I did see a lot of hunting. Sportsmen on this lake. After it happened, the fish population just exploded. So yeah, maybe this was part of, oh Lord, we are socked in here. I can't set my radios to Malden. Is it Malden? And I can find my way back to County Memorial. I just look for that big loop in the river. And I wonder, if somebody does know, put it in the comments, if this used to be the river, and then when the earthquake happened, it backed up a lot of water here. And then the river actually had to eventually rerouted, How did this water get here? I mean, I'm sure it's a low point. That's why the water is here. But was there a bulge somewhere else? Did this land... Well, no, this wouldn't drop down. Oh, I just want to know more about it. It's so interesting. Yeah. Look at this. This is a wildlife conservation area, so there's probably shouldn't be flying over it. Might get shotguns, duck hunters. But look at that. I think it's called liquefaction, when the ground just shakes and rumbles so much that all the loose material finally settles into a place, but everything on top falls through the dirt. And then when it now you could do experiments with sand and water in a cup or something and figure it out. Reelfoot Lake 0 Mike 2. There's supposed to be there's supposed to be a airport over here. There's an airport over here. We might just set down on the airport. Oh, right there it is. Right there it is. Oh, let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go down. We're just going to kill the engines. We're going to hit one thing of flap. I see the airport. Check it out. Oh man, I thought it might have been over there. Kind of looking at a chart. Ooh, that's a short airfield, huh? That is a short airfield. We're going right over there. We need to bleed off some speed though. Let's do a loop around. We're looking into Kentucky. We're actually probably in Kentucky right now. Yeah, this side of the river is Kentucky. The other side of the river is Missouri. It is the border. Okay, we're coming down to 1,500 feet. 80 knots. 70 knots. I have the airfield. 70 knots. $65 knots. I was trimmed for, let me trim up here. $1,300 feet, 80 knots, trimming. One flap. We're at 1,000 feet. Another flap. Wow. Wow. No throttle whatsoever here. One more flap, full flap. Wow, check this out. 60 knots. Yeah, don't come in with this angle. And we are down at 0 Mach 2, called Reelfoot Lake. Airstrip, airfield, not sure. Brake. Oh crap, that was not the brake, that was the throttle. Brake. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I hit the throttle instead of the brake. Zero Mach 2. 1 Alpha Bravo clear runway. Wow! I hope you like this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.